All right, guys, death wobble. Did you ever hear of her?
He says this pickup is putting lives at risk.
There it goes. We're in the death wobble right now.
Known among truck owners as the death wobble.
I didn't want to die that day.
Truck owners are outraged to learn this is not a new problem.
I could not control it. The truck went into the death wobble.
You could go weeks or even months, but when it does, it is so scary, you will never forget it.
All joking aside, it's a bitch and it's scary. It's not any fun at all, and it always happens at the worst times. You're cruising down the highway at 80 miles an hour and you hit a bridge joint or a pothole in the road, and it activates, it starts happening, and it kind of resonates through the whole truck. Steering wheel's going crazy. For people that have experienced, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. For people who don't want to experience it, I think we have a really good solution for you. Hey everyone, it's Dan at SPE Motorsport. On this week's product spotlight, we're going over our death wobble fix. So we're coming out with a product that essentially eliminates death wobble in most situations. So there's obviously a lot of key components on the front end of your truck that can cause death wobble or make it worse. And we've done a lot to eliminate what we feel is one of the major causes of it. One of the biggest problems that we've ran into is with the track bar. So if your ball joints are good and the joint on the opposing end of the track bar is good, which is also a ball joint, your steering joints are all good. Everything as far as that goes is all solid. There's one key component that you can replace multiple times with a factory replacement part and you'll still have it. And that one component that we keep falling on is the bushing on the far end of the track bar that actually mounts to the frame of the truck. So this is a track bar that mounts underneath your truck. This end goes on the axle, and this end actually mounts to a bracket up on the frame. And one of the major things that we have found with testing, and believe it or not, we actually had a 2019 truck in our fleet that has the issue pretty terribly, and that was one of the trucks that kind of pushed us to really come up with a good fix for this. New bushings had been put in it, and a lot of things had been attempted to eliminate this. And what we found with video and testing and things of that nature, what we had found in this bushing is it's an encapsulated rubber bushing. So you have a steel sleeve in the middle and then a steel sleeve on the outside with rubber in between the two. And what happens is you have something that initiates a death wobble, and whether it be bad tires or a bump in the road or the steering geometry or the suspension geometry of your truck that's making it happen. And what happens is that rubber, it's just too soft, and that center part of the bushing just moves back and forth inside that casing. And then what happens is when that initiates, it oscillates and gets worse and worse and worse. And what happens when it does that is, as this track bar is moving back and forth, it's also the axle's moving side to side as well. And being that that's moving side to side, it's directly translating into the steering wheel of the truck. And when it goes into the steering wheel of the truck, that's what starts that wobble. That's what you're actually feeling. You're not necessarily feeling the axle moving, but you're feeling, when the axle moves, you're feeling it in the steering wheel because it's all connected. So basically, what we wanted to do was completely eliminate that. And being that this is one of the only joints on the suspension of the truck that is just straight rubber and steel. So all the other joints on the truck have some kind of nylon, it's nylon encapsulated, or like a ball joint, or it's a ball with a nylon cup and a steel barrier around it. This is the only joint on the truck that's not like that. So what we did is we came up with a completely different design. So obviously you're going to have to take this bushing out and replace it with a better bushing. That's going to be the best way to go about it. There are other things on the market. There are polyurethane replacements. There are obviously aftermarket versions of this. The problem is the materials used are not hard enough. The durometer is too weak. It's soft. It's just not going to accomplish what we need. So as I stated earlier, with the nylon cups and stuff that are in a ball joint where there's really no give, that's kind of the direction that we went with the bushing for this. We needed something that would allow the track bar to still move and rotate and slip the way it needs to, but we wanted a material that was durable and would take the punishment and still allow everything to move freely. So this bushing is made out of a material called Delrin or POM. It's a kind of a composite nylon based material. And the cool thing about this material is they consider it a self-lubricating plastic. So you don't have to necessarily grease it or do anything with it. There's really no maintenance involved with it as long as it doesn't get messed up when you install it. So this is similar to that ball joint material. Now, one of the main things that we did when we needed to kind of simplify the bushing and make sure that everything was going to be strong enough and be able to deal with the loads that this was going to receive, we needed to make sure that we were encapsulating the bushing and we weren't allowing it to get deflected. So as you can see, as I push this Delrin onto the actual sleeve or the bushing material or the main assembly of the bushing, you can see this is stainless steel. You can see there's a ridge cut in here, and the way that this actually goes together, it actually holds and cups around the outer edge that's flanged. So when it hits against the track bar, I'll install this here real quick. There isn't a lot of material between these edges, from the flange of the track bar to the actual flange of the main part of the body of the bushing. So there really isn't much room to flex. And that's good because the track bar, when it's operating, the track bar doesn't need to go like this. The track bar only needs to travel up and down and basically keep the axle in line with the truck or the frame. So side to side, we wanted as much rigidity as possible. And that hits the nail right on the head. So that gives us great rigidity. It cups the actual POM material really well. The nylon material is held really well, and it doesn't have a lot of deflection. So that was a good key factor of it there. All right, now that I kind of went over everything with the design features of this, there's one more I want to touch on, and it's basically on the polyurethane versions of this that are on the market. They have a center sleeve that isn't integrated into the outer part of this. So you have a sleeve that kind of travels the whole way through. And part of the issue with that is that allows for more deflection as well. So being that these collars are integrated, this center collar is integrated into this outer part of it, there's less chance of deflection. So that was the main points and key points of the design of the bushing. It doesn't sound like anything crazy, but we try to cover all the bases that we can. So now that we came up with a solution that we knew would work and would deal with all the loads of the track bar and attaching everything to the truck well, we needed to come up with a way to take it out. So in a dealership scenario or a shop scenario, you're usually going to remove the track bar from the truck and you're going to take it to a shop press. And then you're going to have to come up with something to hold this and then press it out. And honestly, it works and it does fine, and you could even do that this way with these ones, but we wanted it to be easier on the customer. So what we did is we came up with a puller. It is a tool steel hardened puller with a bearing assembly in it. And what this does is you're able to actually put this through. So all you have to do to utilize this puller is take this bolt out of the truck and drop this end of the track bar down. Once you do that, you have full access. You don't even have to remove the other side of the track bar. And then this is going to be obviously pressed in here. And all you'll do is you'll slide this right through the end of the track bar like that. And then you're going to cup it. So this would be in here. You're going to bring this through. You're going to cup it from this side. And then this cup's going to go on the other side. And we made it so that it basically, it interlocks and it pushes on the face here and the face of the outer shell. So when you put this on, it's actually pushing on the whole assembly or the whole bushing. And then you put your nut on. And then pulls it right through. And that'll pull it right through. The whole assembly will come out. So the nice thing with that, obviously, is that you don't have to remove it from the truck. It can stay on the truck. It saves a lot of time, and there's no downtime for pulling it off, trying to find a press. And a lot of people may not have a press, and this tool's a lot cheaper than a press is going to be. If you're a shop and you're purchasing these from us, all you have to do is buy the bushing kits and one tool, and you can utilize this tool on multiple trucks. Keeps time down, cost down, customers in and out quicker. It's just a nice, simple way to go about doing it. And we can actually throw in a little clip here of us running this out on the bench, and you can see how that works. And the nice thing is, if you're a shop, you can reuse the tool over and over. So there's the factory bushing. You didn't have to grind or burn anything out, and the tool knocks it right out of there. And that's how it works. All right, guys, now that we went over our track bar, our death wobble fix kit, and our bushing assembly here, we kind of wanted to touch on what years these cover. So it'll be 2005 to current Super Duty. It doesn't matter whether it's a gas engine or a diesel engine. It covers all of them. So that pretty much covers this. And if you have any questions on these parts or how to put them together or how they work or whatever it may be, you guys can email us, give us a call. We'd be more than happy to help you. And these will be live on the site. So if you need us, let us know, and we'll catch you on the next one.